We got a quick update on the Auction CRV. I just got back from the post office with 3 big boxes. I ordered a ton of stuff for this car to get a lot of the gubbins worked on. While I have everything ripped out here, I figured I might as well do some preventative maintenance. As you can see, there's the whole air box split in half, interior, mess, battery, just stuff. In these boxes, we've got the frontmost radiator, which in this case would be the condenser for the AC system. That little box right there has the actual heater core, and that box has some line sets, an AC compressor, and the evaporator core for the actual air box. I figured since I'm already going to be in there, I may as well swap everything out. So we're going to rip these open and throw these parts at the car. I'm just going to focus on getting the heater core and the AC core into the car just so I can get this taken care of and move the vehicle out of its current spot. I am currently blocking something that I would like to get out, and I cannot even move the car in this state. Everything's been disassembled and the car will not sit still. It's being chalked. So we're going to get that all back together so I can start the car, and then in another time we're going to tackle the internal gubbins for the motor. That's going to be for very much later. Alrighty, here are all the parts that I've ordered. We have the evaporator, which is going to be going in today. We have the heater core, which is going to be going in today, and that's all that I'm touching really today. Oh, and the expansion valve, that little guy right there. I'm going to throw that on there, and we're going to put it all together. We'll put the condenser in at another date. That requires me to rip the entire motor apart, and I don't really have the time to do that today. I actually need the car operational tomorrow, so we're going to be fixing this all tonight. Low pressure line set, high pressure line set, just some random off-the-shelf PAG 46 oil. We've got random gaskets, and our new compressor right over there. Okay, in all actuality, what I am now trying to do is get to the actual heater core. It is lied down sideways in this thing and runs the length of the unit here in the front of it, that being the front of the car. And this is a load of fun. As you can see, you have to remove the entire steering column, separate the whole dashboard, deal with all that fun stuff. The service manual actually tells you to remove the whole dashboard, and I am not going to be doing that. I'm just going to pry it aside here, being very careful to not put any undue stress on harnesses and the like. Everything here is sitting rather loosely, so we're not at risk of damaging anything, but still a cause for concern when you're basically ripping your car out of the car. We've got most of the air handler put back together. We have the heater core right there, and then we have our evaporator nestled with the expansion valve right on in there. I got that all thrown back together. We're gonna have fun putting this thing back in, so yeah, it's gonna take like 2 hours. Oh man, an hour-ish later, we finally got this bastard back in. Holy shoot, that was not fun to do. Oh, it doesn't help that relative humidity is at like 90% and it's 85 degrees. Well, Frankenstein, Fahrenheit, whatever you want to call it. Something in Celsius, I want to say like 30, 35. So yeah, not fun. Whew, that was something to put in. Alrighty, as you can see here, I've got the interior all pieced back together. Looks like nothing ever happened. Looking good. Can't even tell it was separated. I have ran the car. Heat blows hot. Now we're gonna rip apart the front end here in just a second and work on the AC so that way we can get some cold air out of it. Fingers crossed, this will go over well. It's getting kind of warm in the day. It's already been pretty hot. And we'll hope to get this done before the end of the day. It's in the afternoon here for me, so fingers crossed we'll be good to go soon. Got the front bumper, headlights, grille, and the plastic covers off. Hardware for all of that right over there, plus tools. And I've already taken off the frontmost radiator, which would be the condenser, and gonna see if I can't show you how far gone this guy is. There are holes poking all the way through it. You can stick your finger through that one. And this thing is proper knackered. So, got another one. Oh wow, that is made of nothing. That immediately bent. Now we just have to throw everything back on, get to the compressor, which is right around thereabouts, change out the lines, and we're gonna be good. Alrighty, we've got the main radiator out of the car for the coolant. Here we have access to all the goodies. As you can see, I've already removed one of the refrigerant lines. The other one's just kind of hanging out here. I'm gonna throw in the two new ones that I have right there. That one's the old one. You can tell the new ones are quite shiny. So we're gonna rip this compressor out after we take the main serpentine belt off, and while we're here we're going to take a look at a few other things. I'm going to check out the thermostat, see how that's faring, check out the motor mount that's right there at the front, super easy access now that that's out, and try to see if that darker spot right there is a leak on the transmission or if it's just residual oil having come from somewhere else, the prior service. You also have really good access to the starter motor right here. Mine's making some weird skipping noises every now and again when we start it, so I want to pull that starter motor off and just see what we got going on. By the way, the hissing noise you're hearing in the background is my poop hose leaking. So we're gonna have some fun with this car while I still have it and change out a good few spare parts. And with that, we have the old compressor. You know what they say, out with the old, in with the new. Yeah. Cool, it's in. We're good. So I got curious. Quite curious actually. After I tore this compressor out, you can see where it kind of met the ground there in that last shot. When these things fail, how and what does it look like on the inside? I don't think anyone's really torn one apart, and I've already got the screws off. I finally beat it loose with the old persuasion stick there. So just oh my god, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain, but this looks like it might be a failed compressor. Oh wow, look at that. Christ. It's all sorts of knackered. Goodness, it ground itself apart in there. Man, when they say these compressors grenade, they literally mean it. Wow. Just gonna pull that little portion out. Wow, I don't want to touch any of this. You can see it absolutely chewed itself up. Goodness. Alright, well the manual CRV has been put away for the night. We have the new compressor put in, all the new line sets, everything's been plumbed in. Just gotta throw the radiator and it's hot out here, condenser back in, and we'll be good to go on that. And a little bit of a teaser. Here's our next piece of crap project.
The next day.
Alrighty, we have our new condenser thrown in. Ignore that. Ignore the dents. Those were there. Those were there. Stop it. Those were there. The entire loop for the cooling system has also been hooked back up. We have our radiator back in here, freshly burped. Going to mount that in a moment. Brand new condenser, line set, everything plumbed in, starting to look really good. The only reason why there's water everywhere is because before I threw the condenser in, I used some soapy water and I cleaned up the radiator. A ton of dirt came out of there, so I just wanted to make sure that's all running good. Car runs, it would drive right now, although it would look funny if it did. And the heater works great. Burped the entire system, now have hot heat, and by the end of the day we're gonna have nice cold cooling. Well, we're pulling a vacuum on the car right now. Thankfully the clouds have showed up, so it's gotten a little cooler. Right now we're just pumping down the low pressure side. In a moment we're gonna go and do the high pressure side. You guys will pretty much see the part where I'm done, where I'm recharging the system. I don't tend to record my work as I'm a one-person show for now. So it will be what it will be for now, and you guys just get to see snippets. Alrighty, you can kind of see I started putting the car back together in the meantime while this thing was pumping down. We have successfully recharged the AC system. It now cools like a hot dam, like it was showroom, and it heats pretty well too. You can see my little vacuum pump set up in mobile battery pack. Start putting this thing back together and take it for a spin. Actually, the next day, I ran out of daylight yesterday to do any actual testing on that CRV, but you can see it through here. Nice, fancy-pantsy new condenser up in the front. Just behind it, a good new compressor, line set, and this car is almost ready to return to the world. Hey, thank you for watching all the way to the end here. I really appreciate it. As you can probably see, it's taken me about a month from the last episode to this one. Life's just been getting pretty busy, and so certain side projects like this and this channel unfortunately need to take a little bit of a back burner. I'm doing what I can when I can just to keep you guys posted on all this good stuff. And since you've already watched this far, I might as well just ask you to like the video and subscribe since you're already here. You know, you've watched the whole thing. Also, if you're interested in just seeing where the channel goes and what's coming up next with the Auction CRV, you saw there's a teaser for an auction dart. That's going to get worked on here pretty soon. I'll tell you, it's a fun one. There's a lot going on with that car, we shall say. So stick around, find out, join the party. We'll see you around.